All right, guys, so today we're going over the two kings of off-road, right, in the 1500 lineup or the 150 lineup. This is the 2024 Ford Raptor versus the 2024 GMC Sierra AT4X 1500, right? Different trucks, but very similar trucks. And I want to get into all of the differences here on these two trucks. And guys, to be honest, doing some research into this, there's some stuff I didn't even know. Let's get into these details, give you guys a full in-depth comparison, and ultimately help you make a decision on which one you want to own and want to drive down the highway or drive across a field or drive up the mountainside, right? So anyhow, guys, let's get into some of the similarities, right? So both of these trucks are, of course, four-wheel drive. Both of these trucks have, you know, a slight, like they're both basically lifted trucks, right, from factory with upgraded suspension, with bigger tires, basically your off-road tires, your all-terrain tire, you know, high ground clearances. You're getting, you know, both of these trucks, you're getting a performance off-road truck. In the Ford here, in the Raptor, you have a high output 3.5 liter EcoBoost, right? In the GMC, you have a 6.2 liter V8. All right, so that's the difference right there. Do you like the turbo or do you want the V8? And specifically, guys, this Raptor is, and I should say this, you have a 10-speed transmission in both trucks. So that is all the same. The Raptor specifically, all right, you are getting, it is a 450 horsepower engine, puts out 450 horse and 510 pound-foot of torque. The GMC truck, you are 420 horsepower and 460 pound-foot of torque. So again, you got 30 more horsepower here with the Raptor, and what is it, 50 more pound-foot of torque, right? So that Raptor, again, with the turbos, they have that truck souped up. You're putting out a lot. When we get into fuel mileage, right, the Raptor is rated at 15 to 18 mile to the gallon. The GMC is rated at 14 to 17 mile to the gallon. So basically the same there. With this Raptor, you can run, they're not actually saying in the gas cap here to run premium fuel in this truck. So you could run regular unleaded in this truck. They're not calling for premium. And I'm gonna go over here and look at this GMC, because with the 6.2 V8, I can tell you, they are gonna say premium fuel recommended, right? So, and to be honest, for the best fuel economy and best performance and best longevity of that motor, you wanna run premium fuel in it, right? So that's kind of, you know, something there. The other thing, guys, is, and again, so we wanna talk about ground clearance. Which one has better ground clearance? Well, the Raptor is rated at, they're saying 12 inches of ground clearance. The GMC, 11 inches of ground clearance. You can put bigger tires on either of these trucks. You can tweak either, you know, either one of those. And that's why actually this is a standard Raptor. It's not the Raptor with the 37. So this is a 35-inch tire on this truck. And this is the standard AT4X, not the AEV, which may give you some more ground clearance, but this is just a standard AT4X. And on this truck, they put a 275, what is it? 275 70 18, right? So 18-inch wheel on that, 275, and this is the 315 70 17. So a 17-inch wheel on this and a 18-inch wheel on that, right? Again, Raptor always leans more towards that Baja look. That like, you know, basically your Baja, bigger tire, smaller wheel. The GMC, really, it is an off-road truck, but I will tell you, when we get more into this truck, they're going more for a luxury off-road, where the Raptor can give you that, but they really built this truck, you know, with the Baja in mind. It's just kind of, overall, that's what it is. The other big thing is, guys, the Raptor is wider than the GMC, and I did not get those exact measurements, but I can tell you it is, like, just looking at the two trucks, like the GMC is a narrower truck, and it's, I want to say it's a couple inches for sure, because that Raptor, and it's, I mean, that's really a known fact on those, but the Raptor is considerably wider, it tracks wider, and they do all that, again, guys, for the Baja, for your, you know, basically just better handling in extreme off-road conditions. However, the GMC, if you're trying to get through a tight trail, you're gonna have a lot better luck with the GMC because that Raptor's wider. So anyhow, we got that, right? They both, this is the other thing that I found interesting, they both have solid rear axles, all right, and independent front suspension. So they both have solid rear axles and independent front suspension. So that is the same on these two trucks. All right, guys, if you enjoy watching this content, be sure to hit subscribe, turn those notifications on. It helps us if you guys hit the subscribe button, trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So again, we appreciate those clicks. Guys, let's go walk to the back of these trucks. This is honestly, I think, one of the biggest differences in the trucks, right? So the Raptors will run the Fox, and this is as far as suspension goes, the Raptor runs the Fox adjustable or the Fox live valve shock, okay, in their trucks, which is a very different technology than the GMC in the AT4X. They run the DSSV multimatic shock, which we can't actually see here. Well, you can't really see it. I think we see it better in the front. No, we can't actually see it, no. Basically, GM has the DSSV, which stands for Dynamic Suspension Spool Valve Shock, okay? And there is, I was looking into all these, like the diagrams explaining the different shocks. So the DSSV shock versus that Fox live valve. It's a Fox live valve shock. Two very different things. Two very different systems, right? The thing I found interesting, and basically with the Ford, with those Raptors, that Fox live valve, it is controlled by the computer. It's constantly sending signals to the computer in the truck when it's driving, saying, hey, adjust, adjust, adjust. Like you're going, hey, we're going across a field or we're going down the highway. That's those shocks. It's basically a smart shock, right? DSSV is similar, but a little bit different. And again, both of these trucks, they ride awesome, right? It really gets, when you're talking, you're gonna get really granular and really into the weeds on which suspension system's better, guys. Honestly, there's a ton of opinions out there, and everything I was reading, they're both great. It's just a matter of preference. I will tell you what I did find interesting is in the DSSV shocks, they ran these shocks and they run these shocks on the Ford GTs, like the Corvette Z06s, the Camaro ZL1s, some Ferraris. I'm not sure if it was Lambo or not, but some Ferraris run the DSSV shock. So very fascinating there. I mean, it must be a really good high-speed shock, which is why they use it. And on these trucks, again, they wanted to put a premium upgraded shock on that truck. That's what that DSSV is doing. So very fascinating there. But again, Fox live valve versus the DSSV in the GMC. The other big thing, and this was actually probably the biggest plus to a Raptor, is that you have a multi-link or a 5-link rear suspension on the Raptor, which independently manages wheel motion and is class leading in wheel travel, right? So that 5-link suspension is the biggest plus on the Raptor, because on the GM truck, you're just getting leaf springs, right? So really, that's really, I would say, where the Raptor wins out as far as suspension goes with that 5-link. The leaf springs, and we're gonna get into it, that probably helps with towing a little bit versus that 5-link in the Raptor, right? Because towing capacities are a little bit higher on the GMC truck. And we'll get into that now. So tow rating, guys, is 8,900 pounds on the AT4X in the 1500. So 8,900 pounds. In the Raptor, we're only at 8,000 pounds. So you can tell, what is it rated? 900 pounds more on the AT4X. Not crazy, but again, it is a difference, right? Especially when you're talking campers, trailers, whatever you're getting into, that is a difference there. The Raptor, however, has 1,188 pounds of payload, where the GMC only has 1,006, right? So you're talking, what is it? 182 pounds more of payload on the Raptor over the GMC. Interesting, guys, bunch of interesting stuff there. The other big one, guys, is the GMC, the AT4X, has locking front and rear differentials, okay? So the AT4X, locking front and rear diff. The Raptor only has a rear locker and does not have a front locking differential. And so this is what, basically from my research on this, what they're saying is their active braking system on the Raptor is supposed to, I guess, mimic a locking diff or something along those lines. But the bottom line is, guys, you do not have a front locker on the Raptor. Basically, a computer-controlled rendition of a locker, I guess is the best word to describe it. So I'm sure some of you guys know more about this exact scenario than I do, and you probably have used it. So hey, comment in, let me know what you think about that. Just something fascinating. I thought, you know, that the AT4X, they give you a front locking diff. The Raptors, they do not, and I guess they only changed that 23 and newer. So the older ones actually had locking diffs, but 23 and newer, they don't anymore in the front end of a Raptor. So, let's go, guys, just real quick around these trucks to give you a quick comparison. So, GMC, you can see here in the AT4X, you have a steel solid front bumper. And if we had, this plate's covered right now, but it is the AEV steel front bumper. If you had an AEV edition, you'd also get a solid steel rear bumper. But again, guys, you can see just like, and we'll get inside too, like these both have a ton of camera options. I think the GMC camera setup is a little bit better than the Raptor, in my opinion. We'll get into that so you can see it. But all in all, guys, you got LED headlights, fog lights, you got your 18-inch wheels, you got your high clearance boards, you got a little, you do have a plastic wheel arch liner or wheel arch molding here, so that's not painted. You have carpeted wheel well liners, painted to match everything here. Go around to the back so you can see this. So again, on the AT4X, something to note, the rear bumper is not steel, okay? It is steel, but it's painted, where the front is just basically an unpainted steel bumper. The back is painted. If you got an AEV edition, it would just be like the front, an unpainted steel bumper, right? And you have your sensors, you have a normal hitch receiver right here with all your trailering that you would want. And then the other thing we're gonna go over here, of course you have the spray and bed liner, but the GMC, you have their multi-pro tailgate, and you get the kicker sound system, the Bluetooth system built into the tailgate, right? So that is unique to the GMC. You got the multi-pro, you got the spray and bed liner, all that is standard on the AT4X, okay? Going around the Raptor, again, like little differences here. You have the LED headlights, they give you two actual, well, let's see here. Yeah, they do give you two fog lights. There's actually a cover on that. But you have two little fog lights. You have front sensors, you got the front camera. This is definitely, the Raptor, and I'll tell you this, is definitely a sportier looking truck than the GMC. The GMC, I would say, is the more classy, refined. The Raptor, definitely the more bullish, sporty looking truck. Go around here, you can see you got the BF Goodrich KO2 tire. You have the high clearance boards. This is actually, yeah, this is a plastic, like fender flare basically, but it has a metallic fleck in it, which is why I was kind of looking at it. It is interesting there, right? Painted to match here, painted to match door handles. Go around to the back of this, guys. You can see this has the Raptor graphics, and they have, like these Raptors, as far as graphics go, that's another thing they'll do. You can get all sorts of different graphics for your bedsides. I'm personally not a fan of all the graphics and all the crap. So I like that better about the GMC, where they're not putting that crap on there. The other thing interesting on this, right, is that this is all plastic. This is just a plastic cover on your tailgate that says Raptor. It says F-150, right? Dual exhaust here in the back, and this is a circular dual exhaust. Again, heavy duty steel bumpers, front and rear on this, big tow hooks, all your normal tow, like your normal tow hitch hookups here. The other thing to note, so you have the slow lower tailgate, all right, and you have Fords. Oh, stop, okay, fine. It wants to go up, wants to show you. So anyhow, you have a power tailgate up and down. So that is a Ford option here on the Raptor. I was gonna show you the tailgate step if it wants to let me do it. So Ford's tailgate step, which I'll be honest, I think is stupid. That multi-pro is way better, in my opinion. This is just dumb, because you're gonna get crap that gets stuck up in here. And you can in the multi-pro as well. I just think that multi-pro is a way better design, and it looks a lot cleaner. This system's kind of hokey to me. But anyhow, it wants to go up. So you got spray and bed liner. Come here, you. The other thing you are getting in the Raptor is the built-in generator, right? So this is the 2 kilowatt generator in the back of the Raptor. That is a pretty sweet option, guys. And that right there, again, Raptor wins it with that, because that, you know, heck, you got a built-in generator in the truck. That's freaking sweet. So put that back up power. which I love that feature. So again, guys, Raptor has a power tailgate. GM does not. Come on. There we go. It's like act up. Let's get inside this truck. Actually, let's go. Yeah, let's get inside this truck, look around this. All right, guys, so really, and this is kind of the case with all Ford products, you have a ton of room inside. This Raptor right now, very spacious. If you are 6'5", 6 foot, whatever, you're a big dude, big, big lady, whatever, this truck's gonna fit you a lot nicer than the GMC. The Fords in general just are a lot bigger inside, a lot more spacious. Seats are bigger. The GMC, like I'm just about 6 foot. I love riding in the GMC trucks. They fit me great. But I can understand if you're a taller person, bigger person, they're gonna fit you, the Ford truck's gonna be a little bit more roomy inside. So FYI on that. The other big thing, guys, on this truck right now. So you have your B&O, your Bang & Olufsen sound, you have navigation, hot and cold seats, full pano sunroof, power slider in the back, adaptive cruise. The Raptor gives you, and I want to get into this, so you have adjustable steering, you have adjustable suspension. And when I say adjustable suspension, it's basically your dampers. So you have it off-road mode. Okay, yes, you have a normal and a sport mode. So for your dampers, you can do that basically, right? Your suspension dampers. Your steering, normal, comfort, and sport. So you can adjust all of that. Very sweet. The other thing is your exhaust, normal, sport, Baja, and quiet. So put that in sport. Like, I will tell you guys, it is actually impressive for a 3.5, for a twin turbo truck. What they did with these Raptors, how they sound, is very impressive, because I'm not a big, fan of the turbos, but these trucks do not sound terrible for a turbo truck that they put, basically amped up that exhaust. It is pretty impressive, right? You have automatic dimming headlights, auto dimming high beams. I'm sorry, you have automatic headlights. What I want to get into the cameras here on this truck. So this is the camera setup on this truck, and we can just see here, boom, boom, bed view, and this is rear view. Oh, come here. Hitch view. All right. Oh, that's the rear, okay. So that's rear camera on the sides. And that's for trailer. So guys, I'll tell you my favorite view this is what I wish this Raptor had, because I don't think there's any view here that shows you. When we get to the GMC, they have a side view of the tires that the Raptor, again, I wish they'd show it, but the GMC will show us a side view when you're turning with your tires. So if you are getting into a tight situation, like you're in rocks or you're going through a tight trail and you don't want to scrape your wheels up, or you want to see exactly where your tires should go, you can look at that view in the GMC truck. So I'll show you that. But basically, guys, bottom line, this is, in the Raptor, very sporty interior. I would not say refined or posh, or, it's not a super bougie interior, right? Where I would say the GMC, when we get into that, it is more of that Cadillac type interior. This truck, very comfortable, very nice truck. No complaints here, guys, but not quite as, refined maybe as the GMC. So we'll go over there next. All right, so let's look inside this AT4X. As you can see, this interior, you get the black with some red accents, the white piping. Let's start this bad boy up. So this truck has the Bose premium sound, of course, heated cooled seats, does not have a full pano sunroof, just the standard sunroof, has the power slider. Technology wise, you have a built-in rear view mirror camera system, right, with a ton of different settings. So you can flip that, toggle that back and forth depending on what you want. You have your heads-up display, right? We said about the locking front and rear diff. You can do those right here. You have your dual zone climate, you have auto dimming high beams, you have heated steering wheel, adaptive cruise, all of that good stuff. The other thing you get, guys, so this is a 2024 and newer in a 6.2 V8, right? You are gonna get the active exhaust, the GM active exhaust, which when you put it into sport mode, it's going to open up the exhaust, basically, you know, instead of having to go throw aftermarket exhaust in your truck, you have it from factory with these trucks. So in sport mode with the active exhaust just sounds louder. It sounds like you're, you know, it just it just opens it up, right? So anyhow, you do get that. The other big thing, guys, is AT4X. You have in this truck your massaging seats, right? So they gave you an off-road truck with massaging seats, and I'll just show you this here real quick. Here you can go. You can see massage, roll, knee, wave, relief. You have all of that with a bunch of different lumbar adjustments on these seats. Way more upgraded than the Raptor. So again, guys, you have that. You do get a suede headliner as well. So really just a lot, and like even like the wood grain here, you know, the leather here on the dash, all leather wrap. The Ford has a lot more plastic. So the Raptor's got a lot more plastic on the inside. You know, really, guys, all I'm going to say, and like even your, like, you look at your floor mats, you get a carpet insert on the floor mat. So they really went for the refined off-road truck with the AT4X. The Raptor is more of the sporty, you know, let's go run this thing across a desert type of look, right? So again, guys, let's go back outside. We'll rehash this. All right, guys, we just went over the 2024 Ford Raptor and the 2024 Sierra 1500 AT4X. Two very different trucks, two very similar trucks, but again, top of the line off-road pickup trucks. Hopefully this video is helpful, guys. Comment in there, tell me which one's your favorite, which one you guys drive, or which one you guys want to own. Again, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe for more content.